welcome back to Tech Sheck, continuing the journey in Pakistan. Good, bad, whatever may come, we continue to share the stories. Today, current state events, tough times. Economies are slowing, funding is slowing, but we still have a ray of light in Pakistan. Today, I'd like to introduce Mohammed bin Zahir, the Director of Digital Systems at OneLoad. Mr. Zahir, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. And as you've seen, Tech Check style, we jump right in. So I was very intrigued to read about your very large round of funding, $11.6 million in this current environment. So kudos, that's a big accomplishment given what's going on in the current state. So please tell us a little bit about you and tell us about OneLoad.
Yeah, so I have some diverse expertise. So I am an engineer, and then I went for MBA, switched my career from technology to commercial, worked in the product development, marketing, sales planning, strategy, and along the lines, I enabled myself to learn some digital funding and digital wallets and fintech and whatnot. So that is why I joined OneLoad. I found that these guys were working on really something exciting. So talking about OneLoad now, so it's at that point in time, around a few years ago, it started off as an aggregator of services. So there are micro retailers in Pakistan serving mobile airtime to the customers. So they are traditionally they need to have some active multiple mobile devices in order to serve all of those customers. And
Right.
the idea at that point in time for OneLoad was to replace all of that with one digital mobile app. So 4 mobile handsets were replaced by one mobile app. So you just need to have an internet connection, create a retailer account, start selling mobile airtime to the consumers, and earn money on it as well as a commission. And through the journey of those years, we've been able to add more and more services in the app as well. So right now, we are the largest non-banking fintech app in the country.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So as I understand it correctly, there was a traditional distribution system for mobile top-ups, right? Either you could do it by SMS or you could buy cards. And now you guys are allowing for a retailer to connect with all the different providers, and through their mobile phones, people can purchase top-up time, and then they resell it to individual consumers, and it's all done by mobile app.
Correct. And there's a physical team, sales team, that the telecom companies need to manage. And so if a retailer runs out of money and he needs more top-up, so he has to wait for the same person to visit him the next day. So all of that revenue opportunity is missed today. But in our case, they can just digitally top up their wallets through bank transfer, through Easy Pesa, through there are multiple options that they can top up their mobile wallet. So there is no revenue slippage. They can earn more money. That is why we claim that if you're a OneLoad retailer, chances are that you're earning more than what you were earning if you were a traditional retailer.
Understood. Because basically you're filling the gap of them running out, right? So they can instantly reload. Okay, that's very, very unique, very interesting. Is there, are you guys revenue producing at this point? Are you operational?
We are, yes, and we're a strong user base of 50,000 retailers as we speak.
Okay.
And the fun fact and interesting fact is that we haven't spent a single penny on marketing ever. And all of this 50,000 base is because of the positive word of mouth that the retailers generated. And it shows that the business case is proven. We've been successful. It was a gap. It was a need that was fulfilled by us. And alhamdulillah, we've been doing very well.
Ah, that's really good to hear. No, that's very unique. And out of curiosity, are some of your investors any of the mobile phone carriers in Pakistan?
We have very sophisticated investors, for example, the likes of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, IFC, which is the investment arm of World Bank Group.
Yep.
And recently, we also, raised the round that you mentioned. It was led by Sarmayacar and Sheck Partners, which is again a leading company out of Middle East. So So the investors are pretty sophisticated. This again shows that we're doing something good, and I'd love to talk about more exciting products coming up.
Yeah, no, and that's great. Let's jump in. Tell us what's next.
Yeah, so before I start, I think there's an important point to understand that in Pakistan, if you want to become a digital bank for the masses, those masses do not have the collateral, which a traditional bank requires if they are to use all of those services. For example, debit card or credit card, you need to provide some income statement, some salary slip to the bank. And if your neighborhood shopkeeper needs to have a POS machine, card swiping machine, and the bank will not issue him because there is no guarantee in return. And so what we've tried to do is learn the patterns of the retailers, learn what transactions they're doing, what is their risk appetite, and try to become a bank of those micro retailers. So there are around 5 million micro retailers in the country, which is a huge potential. And we're trying to become a digital bank for those retailers, which have nothing to give as a collateral or as a guarantee. So this is something unique to us. And now we've started to offer some digital lending products as well, helping them with their working capital. So that has also been successful so far. So this shows that there's a real appetite when you talk about the micro retailers in Pakistan. And lucky for us, we have some knowledge. We've been doing this for some time now, and this enables us to offer even more enriched services for the retailers.
Excellent, excellent. No, so what you're saying essentially is the next step for OneLoad is once you've penetrated the mobile retail environment is to actually start building a digital cash / transaction platform for the average person. They can
we're going to enable the retailers to accept payments. It can be in the form of digital debit cards, credit cards, QR codes, NFC payments. So we're trying to help your neighborhood retailer in order to facilitate the end consumer. So the payment options are available to that poor guy who hasn't been able to avail all of those digital banking services in the past. So, and speaking of that, we're in the process of getting the license from the State Bank of Pakistan. As I speak today, we're only some weeks away from getting the pilot approval from the State Bank, and that would enable us to offer full digital banking services as an electronic money institute. And once that license is there, there's a ton of services that we'll be able to offer to the retailers.
Excellent, excellent. Wow, that's a big step forward. Now you'd mentioned, so I guess Karandaz is one of your investment partners in this?
Sarmayacar.
Sarmayacar, okay. But you said, so Bill and Melinda Gates and IFC individually, not Karandaz, because I know Karandaz is one of the entities they've invested in.
Yeah, indirectly you can say, but the funding that we've received from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has been directly with us. So in that way, we're lucky.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. That's great to hear. So what's the current state situation in terms of, based on what you're seeing on the ground in Pakistan? And it's obviously a big question always here, because there's so much focus on the politics. Have you seen any impact on your business or people's sentiment?
It's an interesting fact that the retailers don't really care about this political situation and everything. Yes, due to the recent economic situation, it has impacted the business to some extent. But the beauty of our business or our industry is that we're talking about smaller size ticket or smaller transactions.
Sure.
It's more airtime, it's bill payments, it's smaller payments, it's international vouchers, again, smaller amounts. So these are the transactions which are not really impacted to that extent because this is a product for the masses. So, and mobile airtime has become a commodity. So, so it's not really impacted that much. So in that way, we're pretty much lucky.
Good, good. And just out of curiosity, I would assume what the revenue model is, but I want to clarify with you, what is that revenue model?
The payment partners that we have, for example, telecom companies, the billers we have in our app. So there's a revenue sharing model which exists there where some of the revenue is passed on to the retailers. In fact, most of that is passed on to the retailer because he's the one doing the transaction. And we keep a little share for ourselves. But recently, to further amplify our business model, we've started to launch our own services in the app. For example, digital lending products. They are something indigenous to us. So instead of becoming a aggregator of services which is being provided by someone else, we're trying to offer some of our services of our own. So in order to amplify our gross margins and everything.
Very good. Very good. Awesome. Yeah. Well, as you know, Mohammed, we try to keep these things relatively short. I think this has been a great introduction. I think you guys are onto something really unique. The interesting thing is, I'd never heard of you before this, so you're doing a great job, whatever you're doing, without making a lot of noise. So that's fantastic. So I wanted to thank you for being on the show and being with us.
Thank you very much. And the reason why you haven't heard about us is because the app is not for you. It's for your micro retailer, the poor guy. And as long as he's using the app, we're doing a good job.
That is for sure. No, lovely to hear and see such activity going on in Pakistan. So to our audience, as you can see, continuing to unfold and share unique and interesting stories, here you have another big success story. Wasn't really talked about much, but they're doing some really impactful things. So please continue to like, share, and subscribe. TechSheck is now over 120 episodes. We plan to keep going. There's lots of great stories out of Pakistan. Let's keep that moving. And with that, I bid you all Allah Hafiz.